As you enter the room, the smell of wet erase expo markers hit you. You hear the soft clack of plastic hitting the table, followed by a louder thud. You watch as your dice bag lands and rolls, spilling onto the surface with a loud clatter. You see the dice scatter in their separate directions, the various numerical values all facing up. As you take a deep breath, you sit down in your chair and sink in for a moment, before preparing your notes and unfolding your Dungeon Master screen. After a moment you hear it, the knock, the first of many. The adventurers have arrived, and it looks like it's about your time to shine. Welcome back to the third episode of A Skunk's Beginner's Guide to Dungeon Mastering Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition. Today's episode, running your first session in improv. Now, before you start the game, do allow a bit of time for your friends to all chat and laugh with each other. It helps ease the tension and it gets everyone in the same headspace. This will aid players when people start easing into role-playing for the first time. After a good 5 to 10 minutes, make sure everyone is seated and speak loudly but in a soft tone to allow everyone to focus in and prepare to listen and play. Remember, make the first session count. Like a good story hook, you want to reel the players in and keep them coming for more. But don't stress about making it perfect. After all, they are likely new players, and if not, they'll be understanding. They're used to the first sessions. When looking at your notes, be descriptive, and even pull out a thesaurus to track interesting and powerful textual words. After all, you do want to do your best to immerse your friends into the game. Try and make short, detailed descriptions of some of the key locations you have prepared. Focus on things like smell, colors, temperature, and what they feel, such as a breeze. When describing an area, try your best not to repeat the same descriptive words over and over, as it can make it sound stale when used multiple times to describe one place in a session. Don't worry if you do it, I still do it from time to time. As you get used to describing areas and growing your vocabulary, you'll do it less and less. Just remember, you don't get better without practice. Now to start, try and give a clear goal to your players, but then let them explore and gently try to ease them back into the story if they get really off course. But if they're having fun, let them. With the first session, it's important to let your players have fun before you start trying to guide them more in later sessions. It's sort of like having a pet get their energy out by playing before you try and give them a bath. While I know some may think that I'm a railroading DM when I word it like this, I personally believe that having a goal and reminding your players about it is fine, as long as you do it in a subtle way that isn't disruptive to the game. Plus, if the players are having fun, there isn't an issue. If you do it too much and the players mention it or you happen to recognize it yourself, take a moment to step back and reassess. You'll find a good balance in time. And just remember, every play group is different, so do what works best for you and your friends. When your players do something you didn't expect or plan for, and I say when because it's inevitable, this is where you really get to play with improv. The important part when these pop up is to listen carefully to your players and their interactions with each other. You should do this normally, of course, but when you're off course improving fully, you can get great ideas from what the players may mention or think of. If the players make a guess at what will happen and it sounds good, let it happen. It'll make the players feel smart and they'll get even more invested into the story. To aid in improv and prep for other encounters or extra time in case what you had planned didn't take the whole session, try creating little side quests and encounters you could reflavor based on when you need it, and sprinkle them into the world when your players run into an area that's rather dry. In time, you'll be able to build a library of assets that are generic enough that you can start to mix and match them, and you can also mash them up with each other to create fully new environments and encounters for your players to experience. If the worst comes to worst and you are completely burnt out after a session, don't feel bad for using other people's creations that they post online. After all, they're likely doing it to help you and allow you to use it. It's not wrong to use somebody else's traps, encounters, or locations. If you're having fun, that's what matters most. You may have a hard role, but don't stress yourself out too much, because if it's not fun for you, it won't be fun for your players. If you ever feel like you're using too much of content created by others, try and reflavor them with new monsters, locations, or details, and soon enough you'll have a whole new thing. All in all, the best way to approach DMing and designing worlds and assets is like art styles. Our style is what we get from taking bits and pieces from things we enjoy and mashing them up and blending them with our experiences and then running them through the filter that is our brain to create something new. Something may have already been made, but you still haven't made your version of it. Thank you for watching this video fully. I hope you're enjoying the content. If you did, leave a like, and if I forgot anything or you have some tips you'd like to add, leave a comment too. I will be making more episodes in this series in the future, so if you would like to get updated on when they come out, make sure to subscribe. If you enjoy the content I create and would like to support me more, I will be launching a Patreon for my YouTube, streaming, and art. It won't be updated super frequently, but will have some benefits such as work in progress scenes of videos, polls and suggestions for future topics to cover, as well as having your name in a thank you at the end of all my videos. Alrighty, I'll see ya. Have a lovely day.